Welcome to the next tutorial of how to make Angry Birds in Scratch. In the last one we set our variables up and we got the bird pointing in the right direction. What we need to do now firstly is set up the bird so that the bird's always pointing in the right direction, and it can rotate around depending on what the user clicked. So firstly we need a control flag for when the game starts, and we need to check something forever. So all the while the game is playing, we need to be listening to see if a user is pressing a key to rotate the bird to change the angle. So we need an if block in there. Now all of our code is going to go inside this forever block to check what is happening throughout the game. It's constantly checking to see if there's any input from the user, and then within that we're going to have an if a certain key is pressed. So that if the right key is pressed, then something's going to happen. So we'll drag in the sensing, we'll say if the right arrow is pressed, what are we going to do? We're going to decide what's going to happen in here. When somebody presses the right arrow, we want the bird to turn so many degrees, so we'll set it to 1. 15 will be too many. So if we press that, if we press the right arrow, the bird, as you can see, is turning round. Turning to the right, we need to decide what we're going to do in the opposite scenario. So obviously if the left key is pressed, then we need it to turn the opposite way. So we'll duplicate the code and then we'll change that. If the left key is pressed and we don't want to turn clockwise, we want to turn anti-clockwise by 1 degree. So let's check and see what happens with that one. So if you're left or you're right, and that has now got the bird moving around to change the angle of its travel when we eventually launch. What we can do to improve this now is we can have a sound in there, like a slingshot being pulled or a catapult being stretched. So if we click sounds, we can import a sound, and I've got some sounds here that we could use. So there you go, there's the slingshot. And in the scripts, when the key has been pressed and it turns in the sound, we can play the slingshot sound, and we can pop it there as well. So if we click that one there you go. It does repeat a little bit. Obviously once you let go of the key, then it will play that slingshot sound. So that's the sound setup and the rotating of the bird setup. In the next tutorial we're going to get the bird moving through the air once it has been launched.